and gentlemen. Welcome to the 7-Figure Fashion Business Podcast,
where we talk about the fashion industry and how to get your fashion business to 7 figures.
From manufacturing strategies, cut and sew designers, to fashion hot topics and the latest fashion trends, I'm your host, Monica Monique.
And I'm your host, XYZ. And let's jump into today's episode.
Good afternoon, evening, morning.
Man, what is up?
What is up? Gang signs. You're throwing gang signs. Okay. How's life, Z?
I think the best part about life is going to the studio. Everything else in life, I'm saying, I'm depressed.
I saw a post. It has nothing to do with fashion, but it was basically talking about how people should live with a family forever, especially if you're young or like 20s, whatever, or even 30s. It was basically saying, like, what is the point in paying 10 different rents and 10 different grocery bills and 10 different whatever? But what about not wanting to be around your family? What about abusive parents or emotionally abusive parents? Mentally abusive parents? What about siblings that have grown out of living with each other? Mm-hmm. I understand from a frugal standpoint. He was basically saying, like, with 10 siblings, and who has 10 siblings anymore? It's 2,000. You might got 2. You might got 2 or 3 or 1. But it was basically saying, like, with 10 siblings, you could afford a really big, nice place where y'all can spread out and have room for each of you guys and still end up splitting costs and being able to live a decent lifestyle if you just live together. For certain people, yes, I think that is the way they should go, especially if you get along with your siblings and you move out your parents' house. If you and your siblings move out of your parents' house together, which is what me and my sister did, I think that does make sense. Mm-hmm. But you gotta grow out of it. It's not forever. Mm-hmm. It's a temporary solution. I think for sure that's the reason why I was able to live the life I was able to live in the beginning years of me having the store, was because my rent was split in half with my sister. But now it's like, okay, this is. I think when you get to the point where you're both financially, or however many siblings y'all have, are financially stable, want to separate, live in different cities, live in different countries, like go and grow outside of your family. I think it's key to becoming your own person is getting away from your siblings and family.
Living alone is very important. I moved out when I was 23, and this for like the past 2 weeks, for some reason, I've been over my mom's house a lot, or I've been over my grandma's house a lot. And although we've been spending a lot of family time together, and it's been great, I just realized I forgot how crazy your family is. Like, growing up, all you do is just realize that your whole family is mentally ill. And
sure, they don't have it together.
They do not. But I mean, I guess that's where love comes from. That's where you learn love, because like you still have to accept them for that's your family,
right?
But me, especially when I was at my mom's house, I'm like, oh my god, like thank God I moved out when I was 23, because if I was still living here, or even if I was living here like years ago, and I had to still, I forgot that I was putting up with you crazy people.
Yeah. Can't do it.
Yeah. I'm about to go back over my mom's house because I gotta wash my clothes. But I still need to go home after that. I get lazy and I will stay there. But I just need to go home. Because the other day, she made me so mad. Remember I said I made a schedule like what time I'm gonna get to the studio. So I was like, alright, I'll be there at 10 a.m. She said she wanted to go downtown. She didn't feel like driving. And she asked me to take her downtown. I was like, no, because I'm going to the studio tomorrow. And then she threw this whole fit because I said no. I'm like, are you crazy? Like, what if it's a job? Well, it's a job.
Yeah.
If I had a real job and I'm telling you I have to be to work by 10 a.m., you would like be like, okay, and you would go drive the car downtown. Right. She didn't want to look for parking, so she just wanted somebody to drop her off. And I had to explain to her that the studio is far away from downtown. It don't even make sense. It's the whole opposite way. And she just was crazy.
But, I mean...
I'm like, this person is really upset right now. Because I said no because I need to go to work. So, she made me take her downtown, and I got to the studio at like...
You took her anyway?
I got to the studio at 11:30 instead of... I got to the studio at 11:30 instead of 10 a.m. So I was an hour and 30 minutes late. And I had to make it up. So I stayed an hour and 30 minutes later.
So I wouldn't... The response was the response. I cannot.
Right.
You proved to her that you could.
As long as I'm
going to do that again.
When I'm by myself, I'm better.
True.
When I'm around family and friends, no, you guys are distractions.
Yeah.
You guys are cycles.
I wouldn't be able to do it.
And I was like, I said it in my head. I had said it out loud one day. I was like, I wonder if, like, I should move back with my mom and, like, put all my money into my business. I was like, just for 6 months out of my life, I would probably, like, I could probably change my life if I just stay with my mom for 6 months. And then that happened.
Right. Yep. Proof. Signs.
And I was like, oh my God. Like, me going over there from time to time, it seemed like it's cool over there. But I'm living here every day, oh, no. Yeah, and have my own place made me mature.
Yeah.
I see the world differently. So, living alone is very important.
Yeah.
And when I meet people that didn't live alone, they might just be like,
your parents?
They might just be like, no, they be like, they haven't learned anything yet.
Oh, like childish.
Yeah. Childish.
Yeah.
Or people not even like living alone.
And I think that's probably the difference too between like moving out with my siblings versus like living with my siblings versus living at home with siblings and parents. I think there's a difference. Living at home with your siblings and parents, you stay a child. But you and your sibling moving out into your own version of an adult space is still a good way to navigate that because you still got to pay your own bills, fill the refrigerator, cook your own food, do everything like you have a roommate now. But your sibling is your roommate. So, and I also think that's better too because if your sibling is behind on rent, you're usually fine with covering it. If a random roommate is behind on rent, you like, well, what you gonna do? what you gonna do about it? But yeah, I think it still kind of leans you into like you're an adult when you move out, even with your siblings. But living at home with your parents, you're still a child. Okay.
And I remember when I used to sew out of her house, how she would like just would act towards my business. I was like, I remember.
How would she act towards your business?
Like she would just be like, I would have customers. She would just be like, get out. I'm really dating it. I have to make you this.
She would tell you to get out of the house?
Not me, but she's like, I don't want people in the house.
Oh, well, yeah.
Or if I would be working on the girl, she'd be like, you come wash these dishes. Or it'd be like, let me see your scissors. No, you can't see my sewing scissors. Like you just can't use them.
Yeah.
To cut chicken.
To cut chicken?
Like you just can't use them.
And that be the title of this episode. You can't use my sewing scissors to cut chicken.
Just like no respect. And then it'll be like she'll go in her closet, find something. Can you hear this? You're not even about to wear this.
Right.
He's little.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. I think it's from a standpoint of saving money. I'm sure it's better. I'm sure it's smarter. I'm sure it makes sense. But a lot of people, parents. I mean, for me personally, I couldn't do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of people don't have like they don't have
the luxury of having like a
sane.
And I think it's possibly because there's a lot of parents that just act like they're your parents even when you're an adult. Like they keep trying to parent you even though you're an adult. So it's like you're 27, 28, and your mom forced you to drive her downtown even though you had adult responsibilities, but she tried to mom you into doing it, and she did. Like, it's because she's like, I'm your mom, and you're going to do what I say when I say.
Then she had text my little sister, and like, she was like, yeah, make sure you're up at 8. They got up extra early. So I won't, like, before I would, like, get dressed and, like, leave. Mm-hmm. Like, they got up early, too.
Why? I'm confused.
So that, like, I won't get up and leave. So they can catch me.
Catch you for what?
Trying to leave.
But you leave. What's wrong with
they got up early to make sure that they ready.
Oh, so that they can leave with you?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know your little sister was in the car, too. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
They was going downstairs to get her stuff. I mean, going downtown to get stuff for her.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But she didn't want to pay for parking. I'm like, downtown is, like, not like how it used to be back in the day. Mm-hmm. Like, you'll be okay. You'll find some parking.
Yeah.
And, like, PennDOT moves so fast. Every time I go up to PennDOT, I'm in there for, like, 30 minutes. Mm-hmm. So, she was fine.
Yeah. It is what it is. Just random.
And we live in an Uber world.
We live in an Uber world. That is a fact. But let's get into the fashion topic of the day. Let's listen to this guy. I saw this post and thought this was interesting.
I agree with this, that the fashion industry has evolved to the point where it encouraged fashion designers to be so good at designing products and clothes and accessories, but they're getting bad at designing fashion. This is not an original thought. This is what Little Hidokor mentioned in her fashion manifesto called Anti-Fashion. She's a famous trend forecaster. She basically said that back then, designers, Rei Kawakubo, Madeline Vionnet, Jean-Paul Gaultier, Givenchy, all of these design legends, they strive to innovate fashion. While innovating fashion, they're pushing boundaries, creating new silhouettes, giving people new way of dressing themselves. But because of what big brands are expecting designers to be able to do, all the things like mass marketing, designing jewelry, accessory, bags, shoes, everything, they don't have the time to sit down and really think, how can I innovate and push the fashion boundaries? And in return, they got so good at designing, they got so good at, mix and matching inspirations, but the idea of pushing boundaries is not in their head. And in the words of Litove, she said that designers are lacking conceptual innovation. While I do agree with 100% of things that she said about this, I don't think it's that extreme. I don't think no designer care about that. You know what I mean? What do you think? It definitely rang true, though. It definitely rang true to me.
Alright, so what do we think about this?
I feel like I said nobody's designing anywhere in a couple of videos. Mm-hmm. So I agree with him on that part. I agree with him on the whole thing, with the whole video.
Yeah.
It is a lot, especially because I'm, like, living it now. Mm-hmm. I think in the last video, I said that I had to, like, sit down and organize a schedule. Mm-hmm. So, because I felt myself not designing. I felt like, you know what I felt myself doing the majority of the time?
What?
Recording videos, editing videos, like, it's like content.
Doing things other than designing.
It's really just content. Mm-hmm. Like, your whole life is content.
Right.
I'm finding sounds, I'm trying to brainstorm ideas for content. Mm-hmm.
And that has to be its own separate day.
Yes. And then the designing is its own separate day.
Mm. Or its own separate thing that you send to somebody else on Fiverr, Upwork, or outsourcing.
Yeah.
Because, like, literally, you should be able to just focus on designing.
Yeah. You go into the business for your talent, and then you can't even do your talent because I run a business.
Right.
It's deep.
Yeah. I like that. I'm going to coach you on that. You go into the business for your talent, then you can't do anything with your talent because you're running a business.
It's two sides to fashion.
Mm-hmm. Any industry.
Yeah.
Let's say you're a chef and you go into it because you love cooking, but now you gotta figure out menus. Should the menu be graphic designed in some way? Logo, licenses, certificates. But like it's every industry. You go into it for the love of the product or your passion, but then the business side of it kind of filters down that love and passion. Mm-hmm. Ooh, I saw another clip. Hold on, child. Anytime I'm on Instagram or YouTube or anything, I see and hear stuff that fashion designers are saying, and I'm like, oh, we need to talk about this because. So I just saw this clip, and did I send it to myself? I hope I did. I probably did. And what's this girl's name? But she was talking about how basically same thing. It's like she went into the business because she loved designing and making clothes, but then she realized that depending on it for her rent was taking the joy out of making clothes. Mm-hmm. I wish I could find it. Hold on. Keep talking.
The best part is designing. That's the fun part. Mm-hmm. But going with the market, going with the business, running the business is fun too, but it be so much that you can't even think, you can't even be creative.
Yeah, it takes the joy out of it.
And then, it takes a long time. It's a process to design one thing. Mm-hmm. So that's a lot too. That's a lot of work too.
Yeah. And you see, like, the collection that I've been showing you, I haven't put anything out on social media yet. And it's because I'm still thinking. Mm-hmm. I'm still designing. I'm still working out what parts of this do I like. How can this be even more different? How can this be even more innovative? How can this not be easily copied? It's because I'm trying with this new collection to focus more on designing than just promoting.
Yeah. Remember we was on the phone and I told you about the friend that said something smart? Mm-hmm. That's kind of what happened. He was saying, like, when are you gonna post stuff? Mm-hmm. Like, you in the studio all the time, like, when are you gonna post stuff? And he was sending me other designers' ideas and stuff. Mm-hmm. And then my cousin, she did the same thing, like, 2 days ago. Mm-hmm. She sent me something that just... Right. But I'm like, don't even feed into it because now that what I'm working on, I'm starting to see it, like, come together. I just ordered some, like, more fabric. And I'm pretty sure when the fabric here is going to be, like, tweaks that I got to do. I'm pretty sure it's going to be something else that I'm running to. Mm-hmm. But, like, it's stuff that I'm designing and I'm working on. It's a process. Right. But people think you go to the studio. People think you go to work, you work on something for 2 hours and you can post it and it's done.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's out of a love and compassion. It's like they want to see your work, they want to see you win. I don't think anybody does that negatively. But I do think for designers it can read as negative because like it's a clip where it says like is it Kanye? Is it a Kanye clip where he's like, I care about my shit. Like I'm really passionate about what I do. And I'm not just gonna put anything out there. Like, so this is my life, this is my passion, this is my hopes and dreams. Like, so I'm trying to make sure it's right before I post it. But I do think you lose a lot of business trying to be perfect. I do think that. I probably could have had so many girls in birthday dresses and skirts in my new style that I came out with. I could have had them in it for the summer. Mm-hmm. But I'm posting stuff that I haven't posted before for prom season or gowns or wedding. Mm-hmm. But this collection, I'm keeping it close to the heart just because I want it to be a specific way and thing before I come out with it. Mm-hmm. Let me play her clip because I found it.
When you need to make sales in order to pay your rent or
and you have no control over who buys what, when, how, or when. You know, and so for me, I had to learn that I couldn't do this as my main source of income for now. I need to have, a source of income that makes me feel very comfortable so that I can bring the joy and passion back to my work. Now, it may not be a full-time job for someone. It might be teaching as if doing freelance work, teaching, doing consulting. It may.
Okay, but y'all got the point. So what she was saying is her depending on her love and her passion for her rent and her car note took the joy out of it, because you can't control when the customer buys, how they buy, if they're willing to pay you full price up front or only half down. Like, you can't control when you make sales and when you don't, especially in the beginning of your entrepreneurship journey. So she had to go back to teaching and getting freelance and part-time jobs for her stable income, and then doing her passion of fashion designing on the side, because depending on it for her lifestyle was taking the joy out of it. Mm-hmm. I think that's a lot of people's reality. Mm-hmm. What do you think?
I agree with it.
Yeah.
When I worked, I just never worked in my business.
So for you, when you had a job, you couldn't work on your business?
I could, but I was so tired. It was hard. Mm-hmm. I was so tired. If I did work on it, it was like every other 3 days. Mm-hmm. Every other week. Like, right now, it's like my full-time, like, it's what I think of the most. I don't gotta worry about, like, clocking in or, like, being somewhere else or, like, running somebody else's business.
Right.
Like, I could just focus on everything I need for my brand. But, like, when I was working jobs, I would just go to sleep afterwards, or I had to take care of household stuff. So the household stuff had to come before the sewing, because I need my house to be in order, or, like, spending family time, or, like, other stuff came before sewing.
And right now, you're able to do it in the season because you were blessed to, like, save up enough money to have this time to figure this part out. Mm. Do you think that is a route that people should take if they're not able to, for example, if they see themselves not working on their business after they get off their job? Do you feel like it's better to just save up your money and try it for a couple months? Or to try to...
I don't know. I think I just have to go through the season to really tell you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, when I was working a job, it was a rent. Mm-hmm. I was just paying the studio rent for no reason.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now I'm not paying it for no reason. I'm there all the time. Mm-hmm. So.
And now you're making the studio rent through your design.
Like
one period.
Like one so it's like. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So save up. Yeah. Yeah. And then risk it later.
Yeah. Because obviously
don't put a lot of bills. And that's why I was like, should I go home for like a little bit? Because I could like take all the money and invest in the brand. I think I'll be fine. Mm-hmm. But I can't go home.
Yeah. That's a thought process too. It's like
paying. Yeah. That's all the thought process. Maybe that's a whole different episode.
But it's definitely things that people have to consider, because eventually, let's say this saved money runs out, you do have the option to go back to, let's say, a not so positive environment and risk your mental health and like the strengths that you've been able to get by living on your own. Risk that, take 6 months and just be at the studio even longer days and longer nights and just ignore the home stuff. But at the same time, it's just like, dang, then I gotta come home to somebody telling me what to do and where to do it. And that might not be worth it. That might not be a worth it type of equation for you.
Right. A part-time job might be cool. Instead of working a full 8-hour shift.
Was your bartending or waitress job, was that full-time?
Yeah. One of them, they always was 8 hours.
Oh, okay.
But it was at nighttime. I was getting up at from 6 to 2.
Mm-hmm.
One of them was like in the morning. That was 8 hours. That was like 9 hours.
Yeah.
Then you gotta add getting ready and your work hours and travel time. So add another hour or 2 hours depending on how long it takes to get to work. Yeah. So you really got 4 hours to work on your business.
Yeah. I think when I was working from my dad's house, like directly after college, I still had a part-time job. I think that's when I was working at Forever 21 as well. And then I was marketing, that I was doing the designing. And that's when I started to build up clientele. So I don't know if that was full-time or part-time, but I've definitely split the schedule evenly. So let's say if I worked 30 hours at Forever 21, I also worked 30 hours at home working for my brand. And I think I've just always been very headstrong and focused on doing the thing I say I'm going to do. Mm-hmm. But when I opened the store, again, from delusion, I've said it in past episodes, the fact that I opened this store with no plan was pure delusion, and I'm grateful for my delusion. Mm-hmm. But I think if I had never made that risk, I would have never made that risk. Mm-hmm. It was the perfect time, it was the perfect amount of delusion, it was the perfect environment, it was the perfect neighbors for everything to work out the way it worked out for me specifically. But I definitely think a lot more people, for example, she has 2 kids. You can't take risks like that when you have kids. Mm-hmm. So it's different setups for every different person. And even...
It really is all about risk.
Huh?
It really is all about risk.
It really is all about risk.
Just pray, faith. God, went through it, please.
Risk and knowledge. Because outside of me taking all these risks, I've also been super, super strict on myself throughout my whole life to learn new skills every day, to read a different book every week, to read business books and listen to business podcasts. Whether I think I'm going to learn something from this specific person or not, I'm going to sit down and listen to it, or listen to them on my drive or whatever, because learning is a constant. For the rest of my life, I need to be learning. I need to be studying. What I was taught when I graduated high school, that information is not useful anymore. Mm-hmm. I need to learn new skills. I need to learn new technologies. I need to learn AI. I need to learn ads. And if you think you learned everything you needed to learn, you're wrong, and you're gonna fall behind everybody else.
Yeah.
So for me, when I opened the store, I started to look up what is the best practices when running a store. How do you do your taxes? What's the best system to set up your store in order to get benefits off of your taxes? How does it work when you hire employees? What's a cheap way to pay your electricity bill? All the things outside of the things. If I don't have sales, I need to be learning something. If I'm not busy, I need to be learning something. And I think a lot of people don't take the initiative to start reading books and looking at videos so you can learn, how can I make this work by any means?
Mm-hmm. I got something to say. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the learning part. If I don't know, people call me with problems, or people call me with negativity in their life, venting or whatever, and it's so bad now. Even when I hang out with people and they listening to music, I'm like, oh my god, I want to listen to don't you want to listen to something positive? Don't you want to listen to don't you want to learn something?
Yeah.
If I'm sitting on the phone with you, in the back of my head, I'm like, dang, we was on the phone for 20 minutes. Mm-hmm. In this 20 minutes, I could have learned something.
Right.
But in this 20 minutes, am I mad?
No.
No. Because you should be able to, call me and, talk.
I don't know what the should word is.
A friend, a family member, they should be able to call and vent to their family member.
I think people should get a therapist.
You have somebody to talk to.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of conversations where you can and should be able to vent if something is serious and going on. I don't think you should be able to call me and vent about how you feel about Kim Kardashian. Or how you feel about gossip that has nothing to do with me or you. Or our lives. Or will benefit us in any way. I don't think you should have the right to complain and talk to me for an hour about things that don't affect my daily life, your daily life, or anybody's daily life. Why are we talking about whether or not they like their shoes, or you like their shoes, or this whether or not somebody talked about you behind your back and you're not sure how they feel? None of that matters.
It don't.
How do you feel about yourself? Good or bad? Okay, fix those problems. Why does it matter if somebody, or if you have a conversation about whether or not somebody feels the same way about you? I'm not here for this.
I think every second you should be learning something.
It don't have to be every second now.
No, every second.
Let's not get carried away. But for sure, I think you are the average of the 5 people around you.
Mm-hmm.
The 5 people closest to you. If they all not doing nothing for their lives, you need to get a new 5 people.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just what it is. And I think it affects who you are, who you become.
Yes.
So.
That's me.
Huh?
That's me. I'm scared because I'm about to lose. I'm about to look like the bad guy again. I'm setting boundaries.
Babe.
I've been here 10 times.
Mm-hmm.
With the same kind of...
And God said, I don't know if God said this, somebody said this. If you don't learn it with Peter, he gonna send Paul. If you don't learn it with Paul, you gonna send Jacob. If you don't send Jacob, he gonna send Job. If you don't send Job, he gonna send Jesus Christ. Like, whoever. It's basically like, if you don't learn your lesson with one person, he gonna keep sending people just like that person because you're not learning nothing. So it's proof that you ain't learning nothing. You set your boundaries, but they must not be set.
Right.
They must be on hold or pause. You know, you keep letting the same type of person back into your life to throw you off. So if you're not going to learn, you're going to keep getting that same person.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
I saw another post that said, you can't don't come around me if you don't want to be held to a higher standard. That's legit how I feel. Don't come around me if you don't want to be held to a higher standard, because I have a certain standard of how I work, how I live life, how I behave in public, how I drink or don't drink, how I interact with people in my community. I have a standard. If you can't be held to a higher standard, if you're just outside doing anything, anywhere, with anybody, we can't hang out together. Mm-hmm. So let's just not. Mm-hmm. It is what it is.
I seen a video. Did I post it? I think I posted it. And I said, something comes with a whole personality change or a whole mindset change.
What comes with a whole personality change?
Like when you set in your goals.
Mm-hmm.
Or whatever goal you set in, or when you want to go into entrepreneurship, whatever big dream you set in.
Yeah.
Like it costs you your old self.
Mm-hmm.
And like you just gotta go into like a whole different person.
Yeah.
And then I seen another interview with Lil Baby. He said he was depressed for a really long time in the beginning of his success because he had to change. He changed into a whole different person. Like he wasn't allowed to do the same stuff, be around the same places. Like your whole life, you do this your daily habits, or like he couldn't do it. Like he was living a whole different life, so that was hard to adjust to.
Yeah,
like he said, he just got he feel better now. Like he just got used to it.
Yeah,
but he understood it was all just for the success.
But to be the person you want to be, you can't be the old person.
Yeah.
Like, you have to let go of... Because the person who is a millionaire isn't going to hang out with that person, that friend. The person who is a millionaire isn't going to accept not changing the oil in your car. The person who is a millionaire isn't going to accept somebody shorting them change on whatever. Or not sending them the photos from a photography shoot. Or waiting 3 weeks to even ask you, hey, do you have the pictures back yet? No, a person who is a millionaire is going to be like, hey, we agreed to this certain day at this certain time. I still haven't received the pictures. What's going on? Like, you're going to speak a certain way. You're going to do things all with it in the back of the mind. Like, is the person who's a millionaire or the person who has this type of business, how would they act in this situation? And start to become that person.
Yeah.
So.
And then it's hard when you're the only one that's growing. You're the only one that's changing. And nobody else, everybody's just taking the wrong road. That is hard.
Well, That's why you gotta get a different group of people around you. I'm always working to get different people around me. I literally have so few friends now, and I feel like my life is better.
I get it.
I feel like it's better with just the one or two.
But I feel like I cut off friends, and my life got better, and then I started making new friends. And it like some parts I like caught myself. I was like, wow, like I really don't do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So it was fun, like being out and actually like having somebody to talk to.
Mm-hmm.
But like I'm catching myself like doing things that just no.
Yeah,
I'm catching myself. So I feel bad. I feel terrible.
It's not even an emotion that you need to feel.
Because
not at all.
Because I just feel, and I'm scared. I'm so scared.
Tell me about your time
of success a little bit.
No, you keep being scared.
I'm not scared. I know it's gonna come, but like I just don't want. I already seen like when I first started song when I was 21, like how everything was taking off. I already seen like people true intentions. Like some people like people have to adjust to your success. You adjusting to your success, but other people gotta adjust to your success too.
Yeah.
So I'm ready for it. Like I feel like when I get here, I'm already gonna know what it is. Back then, I didn't know what it was. I just thought everybody's being mean to me. But now, like, I know what it is. But
yeah,
I gotta get ready for it.
Yeah, preparation is always the key.
Mm-hmm.
Prepping for the life you will have now, so that when it comes, you are ready.
Can't nobody see your vision and understand why you're going somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, like, when you working and somebody say, "Oh, you make your own schedule. You can go to work anytime." No, I can't.
Right. Yeah. Somebody actually said that to me like last week. They were saying, "Can I do something on a Saturday?"
Cut them off.
They on their way. But they said, "Can I do something on a Saturday?" And I was like, "No, because I have the store." I was like, "But you own it." It's like, yeah, and Saturday's my busy day.
That's a bad mindset.
Saturday is my busy day, so that's where I will be making my money.
My cousin, she do makeup. Saturdays is her busy day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's no way that she's taking up on a Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
So the family was upset because she didn't come to Jordan Park this Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to explain to them for like
bills
30 minutes.
Bro.
Nobody else is an entrepreneur in the family.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't.
But they have jobs.
So I'm like, do you understand how much? I'm like, she charged. Let's say she charged $2,000 a piece.
Mm-hmm.
I made it up.
Right.
But she get 10, 20 customers in 12. In her 12 hours. I made it up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I said, add that up.
Right. Yeah.
You think that she's gonna take a day off?
Mm-hmm.
Especially if like she didn't have enough preparation time or like.
Right.
I say y'all are delusional.
Right. Yeah. But you see how they're gonna act when you do.
But they was like disgusted. Like, oh, I'm never inviting her out again.
Please don't. She don't need your energy.
I was like, y'all dead serious. Like they was dead serious. We had a ball. It would have been nice if she was there. But I was the only one that had to like the back of her up. They was disgusted.
That's ridiculous. But I get it. I get that people don't understand. But even after you explain it, like, hello, understand. I don't know. I don't have people in my life like that though. Or at least if I did, then I've turned them all off. because people don't approach me with stuff like that anymore. Mm-hmm. Or they know, oh, Monica's working. Mm-hmm. Monica's busy. If it's February, March, April, May, don't even call Monica. She ain't coming if it's not a day off or a Sunday. They already know. My cousin told me she only schedules her kids' birthday parties on Sundays specifically so I can come. Because she knows Sunday is the only day where I'm off, and now, even though Sundays and Mondays, but because it's the weekend. Mm-hmm. But she said, like, well, I want you to be there so I know I'm scheduled on Sunday. Because if it's a Saturday, I know you're not coming. Yeah. And so, yeah. all adjustments that we need to make and get used to succeed in general. What's your takeaway from this episode?
Support system. What did we talk about this episode?
We talked about living with your siblings versus living with your parents. We talked about rent, using your passion to pay for your bills. And we talked about just setting boundaries and keeping them.
Yeah, just think fashion entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
What comes with it, it ain't really about it's all about the talent. But it's more to it than just the talent. It's the business too. And these are all the things that come with the business side. It's not even like a couple of things. It's like 1,000 things, 1,000,000 things.
Yeah. Delegation is key. Start delegating now. I think you should start delegating content. Like you saying, you go to the studio and you end up working on content the whole day. I think you should try delegating like 2 Instagram posts to somebody on Fiverr and just see how they come out. So you gotta delegate certain things. Get your time back.
Yeah.
So you can focus on designing.
Yeah. Also, I feel like it's okay to put in like overtime. But I know it says we need to work 8 hours. But in the beginning, I do 20 hours and sleep 4.
Do 20 hours doing what?
Working.
Absolutely not. That made me sleepy just you saying it.
And I can sleep me some 4 hours and get up and do it.
No.
It'll be working.
Work-life balance. Schedule it in.
No, balance is key.
Balance is key. But make sure you count your blessings.
Before you count your money.
Deuces.